everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, October 19th, episode 78. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? And how's your week been?
Oh, you know, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Watch any movies or shows or play any games?
Not really. I've been playing a lot. I've been bouncing between 2K17 and Forza. But
I was gonna say, I've seen you've been on 2K17 a lot.
building my character.
Yeah, can you explain this? How exactly did my character get in your game?
Okay, so if you have friends on the same console, and they create a character, if you turn on, I forget if it's just I think it's a setting. I don't think it's automatic, but I think there's like a turn on, turn off that the game will automatically import your friends' created superstars into your, and I know it's your career, and
Right.
I think it's also into the My Universe mode too.
Okay.
And it's basically just like, oh, they're just another addition to the roster. Like that's.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that going into it. I was like, I did it as easy as I could. I was like, okay, let's just put a big beard on him and the New Day clothes, because it'd be cool if they had a new member or something.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't even know, like, I didn't even create, like, moves or anything. I don't know.
No, you didn't.
I am so lost with that game, because there's no... I did my career, but there's no setting up moves. It's like,
okay.
what do you want them to look like? And then suddenly I'm wrestling NXT.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in career mode, you start off like you're building from the ground up. You have to build the attributes, and you have to buy the move sets and all that. You can skip that and go straight to the under My Creations and do a character that way.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but either way, when you go into My Career, you still have to build them from the ground up.
Okay.
So you don't get, like, you can't make, and you can import or export. So, like, if you do one as like, because the way I do it, I go under the My Creations tab and do that, and then import him into career mode. And of course, it kind of resets a lot of the move. I think it resets the entire move set. But you have your appearance and everything, and usually that seems to be what takes the longest, because people really get into detail a lot on that.
Yeah, I just didn't know what to do, so I was like, okay, Xavier Woods, there we go. And then I was like, how do I take the unicorn thing off the head? That took forever, and it was a lot of trying to figure it out. And I thought, I was like, okay, it kind of looked like a beard guy that's in New Day. I was like, okay. And then I played a little bit of it, and I had some fun, but I won the, I think, first few matches, but then I just got my ass kicked. And the thing that always gets me is the submissions. I can't figure out what you're supposed to do with that. It doesn't really explain. It's like, oh, you see this dot, you're supposed to go the other direction. And by the time I start to figure it out, it's like they beat me. And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to suck every time.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured it out.
So it's the right stick, man. You're just swinging the right stick. That's all.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
You're making sure, it depends. If you're on defense, you make sure they don't touch. If you're on offense,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you're on offense, you make sure they do touch.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
There
and I'm
you go.
like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? And in a matter of like 3 seconds, it's over. And there was no explanation. I'm like, okay, well, that was something. It should have paused and said, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right, it usually does that. That was strange, 'cause it did that with mine too. And I was like, it showed it, and I was like, oh yeah, I know this. I've been playing a lot of 16. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it might have, and I might have overlooked it, and so I guess I never saw it again after that, maybe,
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then I was like, okay, well, I hope that never happens again. I gotta figure it out, so, I don't know. But it's been fun so far, and I bought it digitally, so it's not like I can return it or anything like that, so I'm in for the long haul, so I'm gonna keep playing it and hopefully get better. It seems like a game that's best played with other people.
It's a party game. I mean, and they always kind of have been. Like, it's meant to be a social game. It's kind of like Madden. You know, you can play it by yourself, but the fun is to get people, you know.
Yeah, this definitely seems like it's going to be a blast, playing with someone on the couch or playing with you or anyone else, just like going in on it. That's where it seems like I'm going to have the most fun with it. So yeah, so that's what I'll probably be doing soon. I've been contemplating getting the VR, and I've come to the conclusion I am getting it. So by the time you're hearing this, I've probably already picked it up. So
nice.
Yeah, we record like the day before, so on Wednesday I'm going to go out and try and find one. I'm sure I can, because it seems like most places still have a stock. It's stocked. So I'm just going to go up to the local GameStop and see if they have the bundle. That's what I need. I need like the camera and everything.
Yeah, you need the whole bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I was looking at the pros and the cons, and I know we still got a lot to talk about, but kind of wanted to bring that up real fast. Have you been seeing any of the reviews?
I've seen like headlines. I haven't really gone like diving into them or anything.
From what I understand, a lot of people that have tried all the devices, they said Vive, of course, is the top, but you pay for it. You got to have a computer, and you got to pay that much money. But that is the best experience with the best resolution, the best controllers, all around. But it comes with a heavy price. But they said for this is right underneath it, because for one, the player base, if you already have a PlayStation, this is only a $400 or $500 buy-in, and you're set. And that's with the controllers and everything else. And it's got apparently the best launch for games for it, where the other systems didn't have it. They said it's definitely above Oculus Rift, because the controllers for Oculus Rift kind of stink. But it was kind of like, it was kind of saying what I already assumed. And to me, it's the best price buy-in for VR. Yeah, it's all expensive no matter what, but it's the one that I think is I'm going to get more bang for my buck, that I'm going to get some games. We got Batman and whatnot on it, and we're going to get the Star Wars soon, and Resident Evil, and I guess I just know going in, the games they have for it are kind of, what did the guys at Kind of Funny, or it was IGN, they called it kind of the Pong era for VR.
Right, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Right. Where these games are just kind of experimenting with it, and they're bite-sized, and, I guess I could hop in Rigs or one of those other games. There's even like a Tetris-like game where, I forgot what it's called, but it's like you see the shape and you're going down and you have to fit it in the hole. And it keeps changing, and it keeps getting faster, and you got to keep rotating it. And they said, like, that game you can sit there as long as you want and play it, or you could hop in for 2 minutes,
Right.
So I've kind of come to the conclusion I'm gonna bite the bullet and get it. So next week you guys can all hear what I think about it. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. I watched a few things we'll talk about later. Black Mirror. Have you gotten a chance to watch that at all?
I haven't gotten to check it out yet. No.
Oh, okay. So of course no spoilers, but I'll give kind of my overall impressions. I watched the entire series in one day.
How many? They're up to what? 3 seasons now?
They're 2 seasons. The 3rd season comes out this month. I think like next week, or hold on. We'll look it up right now. Season 3, Black Mirror, Season 3, release date. I believe it is October 21st. So, it's going to be out Friday, the 3rd season. And what's cool is it's basically the first season is, I think, 3 episodes. And the second season is 3 episodes. Now, each episode, I'll get into it much later on, but real fast, the episodes are more like little movies. Every episode is its own story, and so they treat each season like, hey, we're going to make 3 films.
Okay.
And they're all different cast. I've seen little Easter eggs of connections, but it's basically like the Twilight Zone. I'll get into more detail later on. The new season's 6 episodes, so that's kind of cool. And the 6th season, all of this kind of ties into video games because it's all about technology. It was basically like, what if we could do the Twilight Zone for tech heads? Like you ever sit around with someone and go, this would be really cool if I could just do this, if I could just teleport there.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that would be great. What a great technology to have. Just you don't have to drive anywhere. But then it goes into that's cool, but what would be unanticipated consequences of that kind of technology.
Right.
Kind of like the Fly, kind of like Jurassic Park. It's like, what would be really cool, but then fucking twisted. And that's what every story is about. So anyway, I'll talk about much later. But it was really fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Definitely worth checking out. I love finding little crazy things like that on Netflix where I heard a whisper of something and I'm like, I'll check that out later. I don't know what that is. I think I heard of it before. And then when I get into it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then I'm stuck there for the rest of the day. But yeah, man, let's get into some movie news. Now, big news right at the top. Did you see the Star Wars Rogue One trailer?
I did.
Yep. So they released some posters where it's like their faces with the Death Star maps all over them.
Yeah.
And the trailer. And oh man, what a great trailer, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Now in the trailer they kind of talked about, maybe they didn't, but I know at some point they talked about how her father is really important to the Death Star.
Yeah, it was in this new one. Yeah.
It was in this new one. Okay, all right. And so that was kind of spoiled, but hey, it's that's what's in it. So. I loved that. I loved that part. My favorite shot from the trailer was when they show the Jedi Temple fallen over.
Yeah.
Or not temple, but it's like a big stone statue.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah. So who knows what it was from, but it's ruins. And I loved that. I loved that this is a world where Jedis and Sith exist, and then suddenly, in one fell swoop, they were wiped out. And now you can tell the Empire is rewriting history by destroying the statues, kind of like what the Nazis did and whatnot, to rewrite history and show them favorable. I got all of that from that one image. Like, they obviously destroyed this, and it was just a cool shot of them going over the sand. I bet some guy was like, hey, let's just put this cool little scene in here, and that made the whole trailer for me.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was great. What did you think?
I loved it. The more I see of this, especially the way they've done it, because they show enough variety without there's not. It's the way trailers are supposed to be. Here's glimpses of each different part of the film without really telling you anything about it.
Exactly. I don't feel like we got that much of a story except for it. We don't know any more than what we did going into this film. It's going to be about how a group gets the Death Star plans or tries to get them. And I feel like they have told us nothing else.
Right.
And they've only shown us like that dude's blind, but he's fighting and and just cool character moments. That's what it seems like. Cool little character moments you get from the characters. You kind of get an idea of their personality, just a taste, but nothing for the story. We don't know how they're connected or how it comes about. They showed a little bit more character stuff with her in this one. What's the character's name?
Jane Erso.
Jane, there we go. Yeah. I thought that was so cool. So the less I know going into it, the better off I am. And like I said, the scene that got me the most excited was the statue just toppled over. That was such a cool scene. I wouldn't it would be cool if in the movie they just show that scene, they don't explain it, and it's just something that we think about afterwards and we analyze, and then suddenly it's in a comic book or it's in a novel that they go to that place and then they get into the details. That's what I love about it. That's really cool.
Right.
Yeah, just lore building on top of it. I don't know, it reminds me of World of Warcraft, where they'll just have a big statue there destroyed and they won't explain it until an expansion later, oh yeah, that's where blah 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 fell to earth or something. So I don't know, I thought it was really cool. But yeah, man, that was awesome. Have you watched any of the new Rebels?
No, I am criminally behind on Rebels.
I don't know if I should say something because it's kind of a spoiler.
Well then don't. 'Cause I don't.
Let's just say there's a scene in one of the last episodes, not the very last one before this show airs, but the one before it. It has to do with oh man, what's the main guy's name? The kid. Slipping my tongue here. My tongue.
I forgot. I totally forgot. Oh, that's
Hold
terrible,
on.
Man.
Is it Jade? Not Jaden.
But it's
Ezra.
Ezra. Thank you. Yes.
So you know what happened with him and Maul, and there's this scene, and I won't say how it comes to it or how they do it, but they both have a vision, and it's of the future, and you don't see what the vision is, but just the things they say, you're just like, what is going to happen this season? And oh man, it sets up the coolest like hint at what's going to happen, and you're like, okay, I'm on board. Nice. And the more I watch of it, the more I'm convinced Maul was still alive. Darth Maul was still alive during the Luke and stuff like that. And man, I don't know. I'm excited. It's been a really good season so far. Definitely got my attention. And that when they do those 5-minute moments of the episodes and it gets super into the lore, I'm just like, holy shit, this is something we've never seen before, you know? it really was. So, yeah. So, that was really cool.
Nice.
We got some Predator news. And before we get into the news, do you listen to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast?
I on occasion, but I haven't lately. Why? What happened?
Dude, it's funny because one of my bosses, I was talking to him about listening to podcasts, and I remember I went to NXT and I told you about it, and I told my boss I went to NXT, and he goes, you know, there's this podcast I listen to. He goes, I don't really watch wrestling anymore, but it's the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast, and he just has on the most interesting people, and they talk about whatever, and I was like, oh, okay. So I started listening to Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. He had Jesse the Body Ventura on this week.
Oh my god, that must have been amazing.
Yes, and it's not as crazy as you think. Like, he actually is in this. Everything he says is, you're like, that's not crazy at all. That actually sounds really smart.
Oh, he doesn't go into his UFO theories?
No, maybe that's because this is part 1. Part 2 is next week.
Okay.
So they keep it grounded. They talk about wrestling, but then they talk about him doing The Predator and him doing movies, and how, you know, the reason why he's actually not in the WWE anymore is because he owns the rights to Jesse the Body Ventura. So much so that if he does anything with the WWE, like if that's why he's not invited to WrestleMania or something like that, because he would collect, I guess, on that later on.
Yeah.
The way he put it or whatnot. And he was one of the only wrestlers that did that, because he was the first guy to go to Vince and say he has an agent and he owns his character and whatnot. So, because he was Jesse the Body Ventura before he went to the WWE.
Right.
And he was the first person to go, hey, I have an agent and all this other stuff, and I own the rights, and took him to court and won. So anyway, he goes into talking about the Predator and how he was in Vietnam himself, and so he just kind of put his mindset back to being in Predator, and, you know, how far apart you have to be from the other person, you know. And he would argue with the director, saying, well, this doesn't make sense. We're all bundled together. One guy with a clip would kill all of us. That's not how they do it in Nam. And so he's like, but then he had to realize it's for a movie. They got to make sure certain people are in certain shots. I don't know. But I thought that was really interesting. So check out the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast with it. It was really cool. Nice. But anyway, we got some Predator news.
Yeah. So Benicio del Toro is out. He had been in talks to star in it, and apparently he passed. Mm-hmm. So Boyd Holbrook is going to do it, and this boy is busy.
Yes, absolutely.
He was in Narcos. He's going to be in Logan. And now he's going to be in the Predator. Like he's working.
He really is. He's a great actor. He's really good. Yep. So that's, you know, you can't have Del Toro. Might as well have this guy. He's really good. I loved him in Narcos.
Nice.
I still have to finish it. I've only watched part of the first season, but he was one of the standouts from the beginning. You know, he narrates a lot of it too. So like, I don't know, it's really well done.
Cool.
Yeah. I got some Logan news. Image shows Stephen Merchant as what is it? Caliban. Caliban.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw this character in Apocalypse, so they're recasting him apparently.
Did we?
He was the informant guy.
Huh. Oh yeah, he looked weird.
Yeah, that was Caliban.
Oh, okay. So they're recasting him?
Apparently.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. We got some Fantastic Beasts news. Film series expands to 5 films.
Yeah, it was going to be, like, they were like, we're doing the first film, but there's probably going to be more than one. And then, like, a week later, they were like, yeah, it's going to be a trilogy. Okay, cool. And then, a couple of years passed, and now they're like, it's going to be 5 films. And as big a fan of the Potterverse as I am, even I'm going, whoa. Let's not put the carriage before the invisible horses here.
Right, seriously. Well, it was 3 books, right?
It was a part of a textbook.
Huh.
This is based... Yeah, this film is not actually based on anything. It's completely... It tells the story of the guy who wrote one of their textbooks.
Okay.
So it's a completely... Like, all of this is going to be brand new.
I wonder if... Do you think it's all going to take place in that time period, or does he actually live... No, he would be way too old.
No. I think it'll go for a handful of years. It'll stretch, and it won't be like the same, like, 1 year and then the next year and then the next year. I think there'll be a stretch of time, but it's all going to be prequel era. They're not going to go past the 40s, I wouldn't think.
Do you think it's going to get to a point where people are going to be like, we want to see the original 3 in a film again?
I think they're always at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta imagine there's some pressure to be like, can we do a time travel story, or what can we do to connect these?
Well, and it's, that story's told. Like, it's done. And the good thing about the reason that we're not going to get anything like that is because of Rowling's involvement. Okay. Is how she's kind of steering the ship creatively on this.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be her vision. She's done the screenplay, and she's kind of the godfather of this property. So if there's the stories are going to be whatever it is that she wants told.
Do you think we're going to see anyone from the original movies, like Hagrid, or I mean, I don't even know how their age works.
That's going to be too old. We may we may see Dumbledore and his evil equivalent that they hinted at in the last set of films.
Okay.
We may see him, but they're like, he's pretty much the only one old enough really to be back that far.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. It's actually just a few weeks out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it's going to be that one, and then
Strange is first.
Right. Doctor Strange. When is Doctor Strange?
November 8th, I think. Yeah.
Really?
I think it's November 8th.
November 8th. Okay, so
I'm pretty sure. Now I may be wrong.
On a Tuesday? No, that doesn't make sense.
No, then that wouldn't be right. Then it'd be
right.
What?
4th. Oh, the 4th. Okay.
Oh hell! So it's in what? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah. So.
And then I think it's. Yeah, because I think Fantastic Beasts is the 18th. I think that's where I was getting that from.
That's right. I'm going to a festival on the 4th, so I'll see it sometime that weekend. Maybe when I get back.
Well, go on the 3rd. Go to the midnight.
No, I'm gonna need as much energy as I can. I don't know. I gotta plan this one out. The years before when I've gone, we did the whole day, and I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. Definitely gonna think I'm gonna be like, all right, it's 6:00 in the evening, time to go there and relax for a few hours and then head home. Not an all-day shenanigans with a bunch of people. Just, it's a mess. But yeah, so I'll would definitely be seeing it that weekend though. Man, I can't wait for Doctor Strange. All right, what other news we got here? We got some Lion King news?
Yeah. So Jeff Nathanson, who wrote the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, is doing the script.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, so I can't be a judge of that.
No, but he also wrote the last 2 Rush Hour movies.
Oh, no. of all the writers, why would, like, of all the properties?
Apparently, they must really they must have really liked his new Pirates script.
I can't imagine.
I mean, he's already in-house at Disney. He's done this thing for him. They must have looked at him and said, you know what, we really like this.
I don't know, man. That doesn't sound good.
Everybody's got a dud or two, you know. I'm willing to give, you know, I'm okay with 3 strikes when it comes to bad scripts. Like everybody's allowed to have ones where you look at and go, wow, somebody wrote this. Like,
that's true.
Because somebody had to. Like, they're just, you know. And sometimes you wonder how many of these scripts started as spec scripts of just like, here's a wacky, not really well thought out idea. And then whenever they bring somebody in to do the rewrites, they don't change much.
Right.
Because somebody thinks that Adam Sandler should still be making movies.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen, who was the guy that wrote the Green Lantern film? And I remember seeing a film after that where I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, he did do that as well.
Yeah, oh, nuts. Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, or maybe it was the director I'm thinking about. I don't know.
Might have been.
Yeah.
It probably could have gone either way.
Yeah. But yeah, some directors or some writers, it's whatever. So we'll see. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Logan image show. Oh no, we already did that.
We did that one.
Yeah, insert coin documentary about Midway gets trailer. Now I didn't see this.
Oh, it's good. Like this is because this documentary is about the kind of like the arcade boom of the '90s, and how Midway just kind of headed it. Revolution X, Terminator 2, Mortal Kombat. You know, this was all them. So
definitely.
It kind of documents everything they did. WrestleMania, the arcade game, like all that stuff that they did. NBA Jam, you know, that was a lot of people I think have forgotten. Like Midway was huge.
Oh yeah,
like, they were. I mean,
it was what? Who's some of the? It was what? Dave Lang, Adam Boyles, like those people that are still in the industry.
Yeah.
I seen it, like I see on Giant Bob all the time. That they act Iron Galaxy's right out of here or out of Orlando. That's where David Lang and Adam Boyles, who was with PlayStation as well, and EA. That's where they came from.
Yeah. So this was a fun documentary. Like I saw this on Kickstarter months and months ago. And I was like, yeah, sure. What the hell? This sounds really interesting. And so now it's got a trailer, so it's probably, I think the promised date was estimated like spring next year, I think. Oh, so okay. Keep an eye out for it. There wasn't a release date or anything. It was just like, hey, we've shot a bunch of stuff, so here's a trailer. This project is still alive, kind of thing.
Well, hey, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna watch that trailer, and when we get back, we'll talk about Captain Planet. Sound like a deal?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and what other news we got here? Oh, this news came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did.
Captain Planet, Leonardo DiCaprio's production company, Up and Away, partnering with Paramount for live action film based on cartoon.
This had been in development hell at Sony for years.
Right. And I mean, it makes perfect sense though that in a weird world, or I don't know, in a weird way, you're like, wait, why would he attach himself to that? But if you know anything about Leonardo DiCaprio, like that's his passion.
Yeah.
Outside of film is that kind of stuff. And it makes sense. Now, I doubt he'd star in the movie. That would be a fucking shocker. But you know, who knows? I don't even know who I'd cast as Captain America, or not Captain America, but Captain Planet.
I hear this Chris Evans guy is not bad. Oh.
You know what? He actually probably wouldn't be a bad one. But yeah, man, that'd be super interesting. It's kind of the right time for it, I think. You know, with everything going on.
Yeah.
with the planet and just gone to shit, and that would be a film you could definitely have some diversity.
And to look at it from a business standpoint, I mean, they're rebooting everything else from that time.
Exactly.
I mean, we've got the
it only makes sense.
Yeah, we've got the Power Rangers reboot, which is going in a really different direction.
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's good.
I like it. I do. What did you say Max Landis called it? It was Chronicle meets, what was it? Chronicle meets 16 Candles or something?
Chronicle meets The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club, duh.
Breakfast Club. And it's perfect. It is perfect. And he's like, this is what, he said it's pretty obvious that they threw out his script, fired him, and then went into the trash can and grabbed it. But he of course he's taking no credit for it because it's not anything that he made. But he's like, it's pretty fucking obvious they liked what he did, even though they fired him for his idea. Which is fucked up, but
well, that's showbiz.
That is showbiz.
I mean, it sucks, but I mean that's the way.
He talks about, it hurts, especially the Pokemon stuff, like whatever. But he also has his own show on, BBC, the Dirk Gently, and he had his script and show sold to Netflix with Will Smith, Brighter. So like, he's got great stuff coming out. So there's nothing to be, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, could you imagine being in the business and for years trying to work on something to just it be pulled from under the rug like he was with that and Ghostbusters and Pokemon and stuff like, oh man, that would be heartbreaking. That would be something that would wake me up at night going, I was this close.
Yeah, right.
To that, and to greatness or whatever. And he is accomplished so much at such a young age for being in the business, but as hungry as you see as he is, that's got to be heartbreaking.
Totally.
Yeah. But let's see. Now I saw this trailer that you posted.
Did you see this trailer?
I don't understand it. It was called Best Friends.
Yeah. Would you like me to take this?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're back. Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau have made another film. And if those names don't ring any bells, then you've never seen The Room, and I feel sorry for you.
Nope, never saw The Room.
Oh my god, it is exquisite. It is so awful. It is the epitome of how in the hell did this movie get made. It is so bad. And it's bad. It's not just like student film bad, where like a bunch of people who didn't really know what they were doing wanted to know what they were doing, and so they tried. This is people who had no clue what they were doing, who you're amazed looked through the right end of the camera and decided they needed to have some green screen skyline effects, which stop halfway through and restart again.
Wow.
Like bad wallpaper, basically. It's like, oh, we've gotten to the end of the pattern. We have to start over at the beginning of the pattern, which doesn't match with where the pattern ends. Oh my god, that movie is amazing. If you have not seen it, you have to. If for no other reason than to look at it and go, oh my god, somebody made this film. Because you're going to want to call every movie you've ever seen and said was the worst movie ever and apologize. Episode 1, Green Lantern, all of them. Like, you're going to want to call them up and be like, dude, my bad. Like, I didn't know. It's crazy. It's a masterpiece.
Did you know? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just so awful.
Did you know that Seth Rogen and James Franco are making a movie about a book that they made called The Masterpiece, which was behind the scenes of The Room?
I am so not surprised.
It says here that a film adaptation, The Masterpiece, is being developed by Seth Rogen and James Franco, directing, producing, and starring as Tommy Wiseau or whatnot, along with Dave Franco as Greg Cicero. And it's based off a book called The Disaster Artist, which was an award-winning 2013 nonfiction book written by Greg and Tom. Reveals the troubled development of the production of the 2003 cult film Room. So they're making a movie based on the book, based on the events of them making that terrible movie.
Yeah, it's I love that. It's a movie based on the book, based on the behind the scenes issues surrounding the making of this movie.
Yes.
And it's perfect. You would expect nothing less of this movie. Like that is so perfect on absolutely every level. It really is.
Man, I think you've come around to appreciating James Franco a little bit more.
I
over the years.
I don't like him as a person. I've fairly rarely ever have anything positive to say about him outside of his acting. But I can't argue with the fact that he's good. I can't. I would love to. I wish I could. But like he's the last handful of everything I've seen him in. And the thing that turned me around on him was Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh, really?
He was good in that. And that was at the peak of like, I really hate James Franco. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, crap. Because he was.
You still haven't seen the 11/22/63, have you?
I have not. No, I imagine he's good in that.
That's probably one of my favorite of his, because it's mostly him. And it's just it gets you wrapped in. And you're like, I want to know what this guy is going to do in the past.
Nice.
And it's such a cool story. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things of him. He's so weird, but But honestly, Spring Breakers. You've seen Spring Breakers?
Yes, I have.
Terrible movie, but his portrayal of that guy.
It's
just
yeah.
It's hilarious. It is, and it's, I don't know. It's the movie. I thought the movie was shit, but he was my favorite part about that film, just because there's people like that out there that literally take themselves that seriously.
Yeah.
And I think it was based off of a real person.
That whole movie was based on real events.
Like Riff Raff, I think the rapper's name was.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at like a video of Riff Raff, and I'm like, holy shit. He plays a guy called Alien or whatever. It is the exact character of Riff Raff. I'm surprised he didn't get sued, but damn, was it not good. It was his portrayal of that character. I was like, he's dead on, white rapper that's caught up with fucking teenagers. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. That his portrayal of it was. The movie was shit though. But yeah, man. Let's see here. What else we got? I think that's it for the movie news. We can move on to some TV. Netflix they have so much money.
Right.
Netflix platform secures Chris Rock's next 2 comedy specials for a reported $40 million.
Yeah. Well, they had to throw some big money to get him away from HBO.
That's true.
And I'll tell you what, it makes me crazy that when I go to Netflix and I'm like, okay, I want to watch a comedy, I have to wade through pages of stand-up specials.
Yeah,
it makes me nuts. Even and I know, well, dude, by subgenres, shut up. It's not the point. Like,
no, honestly, Netflix, for the platform as big as it is, it has the shittiest like way to move around.
Yeah.
There's so much hidden content.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I go to one genre and there's 16 movies in that genre.
No, it's no. Even when I load all of them, like I'll go to like dramas and just scroll down and hit the end. And I'm like, okay, there were a couple hundred movies here, fine, but I know you have more than this. I know you do.
Well, maybe I'm doing it wrong, because I feel like I'm only seeing I have to slide to the right. It should come up as a big grid, like a big, I don't even know, a grid that's just constantly scrolling down where I can look at 10 movie posters at a time.
It's under browse, man.
On the PlayStation?
Are you just doing? Is there not a? God, I haven't used the PlayStation app in so long.
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. So you go to browse and then you go to genre and then it just shows you.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I do it because I watch on my laptop.
Okay, maybe maybe I need to look. Maybe I'm just not hitting browse. I'm going like down where it has like, movies you've seen or and then it
Right,
says
yeah,
like.
those only give you like the top couple dozen results, maybe.
Yeah, I just hate that. I'm like, come on, I know there's better in here, and I gotta always search. But I miss like going into a Blockbuster and just scrolling through and going, you know what? I've never seen this Macaulay Culkin film. I might as well give it a shot. Like or just something. Just catch you off guard that you thought, oh, you know what? I never saw that in 2008, and I could watch it now. But I guess the way I'm scrolling through it, I'm like, I'm missing so much stuff. I'm like, I'm here for, I'm in the horror section, and there's like a couple dozen movies. And I'm like, I know there's more than this.
Yeah. So no, there's got to be a way to do that there. Like I said, I haven't used the PlayStation app in so long.
I just wish it would.
But again, that kind of speaks to the same thing of like it shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to try to figure it out.
Right, exactly. And maybe I'm just a big dumb and I didn't hit browse, but that shouldn't be the first option. When I go down to horror, I should be able to click horror and then suddenly get all the movies, maybe in release or maybe like the top ones. Or I should be able to switch that to like show, hey, top releases. Show
right, because you can do all that.
By the year.
Yeah, because you can do that on the you can do that on your laptop. Like
and you know what the fucked up thing about this is, and I'm sorry I'm cussing so much this episode, but the screwed up thing is I go to my brother's house. He's got an unlocked Fire Stick.
Oh, so he's got everything.
And the way they do it on the Fire Stick is perfect because it's like if Netflix could just mirror that, but with the content that they legally have, it'd be perfect because it goes year, genre, blah blah blah. You go to year, bam, it shows you all the movies in that year.
Right.
So I wish I could go to Netflix and pick 2007, and it shows me everything they have in 2007. So I can go, I've seen this, I haven't seen that, I have seen this, I haven't seen that, and bam, done. Or genre, and then it lists the movies and it has a little poster next to them. It baffles me that a free thing that someone created in their basement and put on a Fire Stick is better than something that Netflix, a company that's worth millions, that we can tell, look at this, 40 million for 2 specials,
right.
can't adjust. And I'll always pay for Netflix. They might as well. I wish there was an option that just said like pay until. I wish I could. Is there a way you can pay for a year?
I would think there'd have to be, wouldn't there?
I kind of want to do that because I see it every month and I'm like, what is? I just wish I could just pay for a year and be done with it and not think about it for another year, because that's something that I just won't ever get rid of because it's just the amount of content now they're producing. Right. A few years ago I wouldn't have said that, but now.
Yeah, they've really stepped up in the last like 5 years for sure.
Yeah. Definitely, because there's constantly a new show, and Black Mirror is another example of something that I discovered over the weekend out of the blue. I don't know why. Maybe someone mentioned it to me in the past. I'm sure they have, but I think I saw the trailer for the 3rd season and I was like, this looks cool, and I had no idea it was an anthology series, and then I looked it up real fast. And I loved how the creator was like, yeah, we treat each season like a mini film festival. And I loved that idea. He was like, the new season especially, every episode is its own genre. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like, that's like, what a cool concept. And it's the best. I went over to my mom's for dinner on Sunday, and I was like, Mom, you got to check out the show. And she's like, well, they don't like where you have to sit down and watch, all of this stuff back to back and memorize it, and then you're sucked in, and then you can't take a break. My mom does, but guy she's dating really doesn't. And so I'm like, the best thing about this is each is its own story. So I was like, watch episode 3 from season 1. They loved it, and I was like, watch any of the other ones in any order you want. Pick one that sounds interesting. And so they started doing that so they can watch it at their own time, their own leisure, and I was like, that's cool. No other show's doing that.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was super cool. I'm like, this, and it makes perfect sense that now Netflix purchased it from the BBC or however they did it. Now it's being released on Netflix and not BBC.
Yeah. And before we go on break real quick, the guy who wrote the screenplay for Green Lantern, guy by the name of Greg Berlanti.
Oh, really?
Yeah, him and Mark Guggenheim, who does a lot of Arrow.
Well, you know who I was thinking of?
Who were you thinking of?
And maybe it's the new Thor movie, but it was the guy who did the things where
What We Do in the Shadows.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the new Thor.
Do in the Shadow. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Waititi, I think.
Yeah, but I also think he was attached to Green Lantern, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was. Green Lantern, 2011.
Was he?
Yep.
What was he?
He was... Oh, he's not a writer.
Was he a producer, maybe?
Hold on.
Was he an extra?
Hold on.
Was he a key grip? What was he? Well, I'll tell you what. You look that up while we're on break.
Yes. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and on the break, I've discovered the guy Tom from What We Do in the Shadows. He was actually an actor in Green Lantern. He wasn't a writer or anything like that, so that was my mistake. But, yep. All right, let's move on to the TV news. So, we talked about Chris Rock and Netflix. There was some Iron Fist news.
Yeah, Carrie Ann Moss says that her character, Jerry Hogarth, to use her words, has an extremely important role in Danny Rand's life.
Okay.
Which would make sense. I mean, he comes from that very upper class blue blood family. Mm-hmm. And yeah. she would be that kind of lawyer. Like, that would be her kind of clientele, you would think.
Right.
So I would imagine there's some kind of professional connection there, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's cool. I definitely can't wait for that. Let's see here. Big Little Lies 2017 limited series gets a trailer. Now, I don't know anything about this. What's Big Little Lies?
It's a new HBO series that is on the beach. I mean, that's pretty much all I got. It's based on a book, because, everything has been ever, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I know nothing about it. Like, it looks like a drama. Like, it's not. It's just it's not some over the top crazy anything. It's just like, hey, these people live in a coastal town and there's drama because it's HBO. So.
Right. Yeah, it shows a girl meets another girl, something to do with ex-husbands. They're growing closer. Someone's physically abused. Tracking down someone's father. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, have you been watching Westworld? I
have not.
I
am behind.
God, Logan.
I know.
If anything, you need to watch Westworld so we could talk about it. Holy shit, is it good?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, Lifeline, new YouTube Red sci-fi series announced starring The Rock.
Because he's not busy, I don't know, man. Like, this dude, he really has like 8 projects going at once here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He really does. Yeah, YouTube Rev's blowing up. I saw, you probably don't know Jesse Cox. You know who Total Biscuit is? He does, he's a YouTube channel for PC gaming mostly, but he plays consoles as well. But he's mostly focused on PC gaming. Total Biscuit, have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he has a podcast that he does every week called the Co-Optional Podcast. He does with Dodger, and he does with Jesse Cox. And Jesse Cox, to me, is by far one of the funniest personalities, not only on YouTube, but that I've ever seen before. He, if I could go on a tangent for just a second.
Go for it.
For years when I heard YouTube personalities and stuff like that, I used to get this weird taste in my mouth, like I'm too old for that shit. Like, that's not funny to me. That's not my kind of entertainment. That's not how I like to ingest things.
Yeah.
Because it always screamed immature when you see. As much as I respect PewDiePie because of what he's done and how much money he's made, and he knows his gimmick, he knows he sells it to children, and now those children are a little bit older, so he's changed it a little bit. I respect the hell out of him, but his stuff was always a little bit too immature. A lot of those YouTube stars where they're just like a PewDiePie, you know, they're just woo-hoo, and making noises and stuff like that. It's clear they cater towards more of a younger audience with Minecraft, and now they've gotten actually a little bit more mature. I love when PewDiePie gets serious in some of his videos when he talks about like what it's like being on YouTube and stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I like to watch of his. But anyway, Jesse Cox changed all that for me, because here was a guy, he's just a dude, looks a little bit like me, you know. He was a teacher, now, and then he was a tutor for kids in like the inner city and stuff like that. And his sense of humor is just so dead on, just so spot on. Like the way he throws in a joke during the podcast or whatever they're doing, and it's done in such a way that it's just like, fuck, that's genius and that's hilarious what he does voices and stuff, but he doesn't do it in an immature way. He does it as in like, holy shit, wouldn't it be funny if blah 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 blah. So anyway, he changed the way I looked at that kind of stuff. So if you're listeners, if you ever get a chance, go watch some of Jesse Cox's videos. I wouldn't even know where to start. He does Fan Fridays, where every Friday he plays a game that someone submits and says, hey, play this, and a bunch of people will submit it. And he always just fucking wacky. Go watch his Minecraft. It's his first time playing that game, and he's just like, what is this? Like, this is stupid as shit. I know I'm rambling here, but he's hilarious, and it's back to what we were just talking about. This week he announced that he has a show on YouTube Red with Dan Harmon. Do you know who Dan Harmon is?
Community, right?
Community, yeah. So he's got a show about a couple of kids who's trying to get into esports. So
is this the
sitcom.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I saw something about this.
Yeah, and so the YouTube personalities, Game Grumps, they're all like based out of LA, and he is writing and starring and directing or whatever in the show. I'm not sure, it's Jesse Cox's show, but he's working with Dan Harmon, and I don't think he's starring in it, but he's somehow behind the scenes. He's probably a writer on it, but I think he's like the creator. I know I'm all over the place, but I heard him talking about it. He's the creator. I know that for a fact. I'm sure he's writing and whatever, but he's the creator. And yeah, it's about a couple of kids that are really good at esports, but they're not in the spotlight. They're not in the league yet, and they're trying to get into it. And I thought that's such a cool idea. Like, that's such a fun idea. And you know, it was a little bit I don't know the words. It solidified that I knew that guy had something special, that he wasn't just some random YouTube personality that, you know, kids at a high school would watch after school and laugh. Like, no, Jesse Cox is funny as fuck, and I think this makes it a little bit more official that he's working with someone like Dan Harmon,
right?
You know? On a show like that. It's like, okay, now it's a little bit more official. Highly recommend it. Go watch him playing PT. It's hysterical, and it's not like an immature hysterical. It's like, this guy is funny to watch. One of the rare people that I've actually sat down and I've enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, I can't just mock this kind of stuff anymore, because I'd be like, who would sit and watch someone play a game? That's stupid. And no, absolutely not. If the guy's funny and not over the top, but just funny, it's the best. So yeah, I subscribed to his channel, and I thought it was really cool. So that's my little tangent about that stuff. So yeah, I was surprised that YouTube Red did that. Now with YouTube Red, I heard you get it for free if you have oh no, what was it? It skips the ads, right?
Right.
But you get it for free with something else. I forgot what it was.
I don't know.
There was something. Okay, I'll come back to that later. There was something that you get free for YouTube Red. I know it skips the ads. Oh, you get to listen to the music or something like that.
There's YouTube Music too, I think.
And I think that's all bundled in. And you know about the Twitch and Amazon, right?
I remember didn't Amazon buy Twitch?
Well, Amazon bought Twitch, and what they've done is, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber,
okay,
each month for free, you can select a Twitch user to subscribe to. And I think it's like, what, $4.99 for anyone's subscription. So, like, let's say you're a big fan of Jesse Cox. You can set him as your free subscription. So you get all the stuff you get for his channel as if you subscribe to it. So no ads, all the whatever stickers, all the free content that he throws to his subscribers, whatever the hell he does for his subscribers. Each Twitch star is different. And it has made so much money for Twitch people because suddenly you go from so many subscribers to overnight thousands more because it's like it's free to the person and it does nothing. It basically just goes, I like that person, I want to support him. Amazon, please give this money to them, and no money is transferring out of your account.
Right.
It's all included in the Prime. And overnight, these people who play Twitch are just like, free money. Holy shit! All of this money is and the person watching, nothing came out of their account. It's all a part of what they pay for with the Prime.
Right.
I thought that was so cool. I was like, holy shit. So, maybe not do someone big, but if you're Prime and there's, someone local or someone that does Twitch, subscribe to them. Give them free money. You've already paid for Prime. Might as well give them the however much it is a month. So I thought that was super cool.
Totally.
Yep. So yeah, man, Lifeline. I don't even know what that would be about with The Rock.
It's about life insurance agents who are sent 33 days into the future to protect their clients from having accidents.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a funny concept. That sounds like something that would be for YouTube Red.
Right. That's like so oddly specific.
That's great. I could see that being a short, 15-minute show or something like that.
Or something like that. But I mean, I just keep thinking about The Rock and like how did he get a taste of stuff like that doing those Ford commercials?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He was part of, what was it, the Mechanics or whatever it was, and he was like, hey, you know what? There's something to this.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a funny idea. When you were saying it, I was like you said, oddly specific, but I could totally see someone making a short little TV show about it that, can survive in YouTube Red.
Yeah.
That's cool. But before we move on, we're going to take another break. When we get back, we'll finish up TV news, and we'll get into video games and then reviews. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we got some more YouTube Red news. Impulse sequel series to Jumper coming to YouTube Red from director Doug Liman. So this is weird.
Yeah, it's basically they're just doing a TV show spin-off from Jumper.
Okay. It was a cool concept. I mean, that's a lot of CG for like a YouTube show.
Yeah.
Unless what is he teleporting? That's really it. So maybe like it's not that hard to show that in a show.
Well, I mean, look how they did it in Powers. Like that worked.
Okay, that's true. You're right.
That got the point across on a budget.
Yeah. It's not like you have to. It's not like flying or something like that.
Right. Well, they even did that on a budget too.
That's true. You're right. You are right. Let's see here. We got some Walking Dead news.
Yeah, they've already renewed it for season 8.
Of course they did. They might as well just put like, we've renewed to season 10. Like, just make it official because we know it's going to keep going and keep going.
Well, but I think part of that is because of I think that's a contractual thing. Like, because they don't have, it's not like a sitcom where you're going to have the same characters for years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine the show could keep on going. They could kill off every character that started the show, which they almost have, and continue going, with new characters. Maybe call it something different, I guess. But
now you'd hate to rebrand. Like, that's especially with something this big. Like, it worked fine when they did it for It's a Living back in the 80s, but I mean, that's
right.
Not with something like this.
No, you're right. No, I don't mean lose The Walking Dead. I mean, like, Walking Dead, the second coming. No, I'm just kidding. Night of the Walking Dead. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So yeah, season 8. The season premiere starts this weekend?
Next, I think. No, yeah, this week. Yeah, it's this Sunday, the 23rd. Yeah.
Now I know we heard rumors that we might not find out who Lucille gets until halfway through the first season, which would suck.
No. They said they're gonna address that at the top.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're gonna. We're gonna know the first during the premiere. Oh yeah.
Good. Yeah, I don't want that to drag on. I want to get it over with, hide, under a pillow until it's all done with, because I do not want to see anyone's brains getting beat in.
Yeah.
And that's it. Move on and, pray that it's not, probably 2 people that I don't want it to be.
Right. I'm torn between 2. You have, and it's really it's the same 2. I think that everybody's thinking, is it the same guy in the comics? Or is it somebody from the show who's going to elicit the same reaction?
Exactly. I honestly hope it's the guy from the comics over the guy from the show.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Anyone but that person I will be okay with.
Yeah. And I could take a slightly tertiary character, too. Like, if they decided to make it Abraham or something, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I would be fine with that. Abraham, I've actually grown to really like Abraham, and there was a lot of building up to like him going, you know what, I could have a life outside of this, and then now we can watch it get all fucking torn to hell.
Yeah.
Because he's in that last episode, he's asking about like babies, and he's like, man, did you ever think about having a baby? And like he's all about it, and now we could watch all that die. So who knows, man? It could be anybody. Just. If it is that person that we all love, I will be pissed. I will. Honestly, do you think a studio would work? Like, I can't imagine they would sit back and go, "Hey, this would be fun, but we would lose a lot of viewers. Let's do it anyway."
Well,
I can't imagine they would do that.
Well, look at what they did in the comic, though, man. I mean,
that's different, though. That's totally different.
Not from a storytelling standpoint, I don't think so.
The guy from the comic wasn't as over as this guy we're talking about from the show.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. But
I can't think of anyone in any show right now that is as over as this guy.
Well, I go back to Game of Thrones. Look at who all they've killed.
But the people that they killed, they knew going in who those people were going to be. The one person they knew they couldn't, I would say, is Peter Dinklage. It's like as if they killed Peter Dinklage off in the second season. You would be like, the fuck? Like, yeah, like that would, because he's so over. He's so loved.
Right.
The ones that we love now, we didn't even like in the first season, or at least, it was like, oh, that guy's kind of cool, but we didn't know he would be, we didn't know he would do what Jon Snow did in the last season, that big epic battle. Like,
true.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. Maybe the people who read the book knew that, but me, as a non-book reader, I had no idea.
No, the books haven't gotten that far yet.
Right. Well, I mean, they might have had an idea by the end of whatever book that he did, like, okay, this guy's really important.
Well, yeah, because the last, mild spoiler alert, the last book ended where the season before this one ended. So we were all in the same place.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think Walking Dead, I think it's, oh man, if they do that, I mean, again, that's something people would talk about forever, but I just hope it's not. I hope they don't do it just to be a big shock, because that would suck. You have to take a character like Negan into perspective, though. He's had the lay of the crew, and he's not going to. His whole thing is he wants to make a point. So what's going to make a point? Is Abraham going to make a point? I doubt it. Is Morgan going to make a point? I doubt it. Is Rick going to make a point? Yeah, but not the right point. And then you look at some of the others, and are they going to make a point? Yeah, they could. So, roll the dice and see which one you come up with. Right. Yeah, I mean, part of me wants me to be someone different from the comic to keep it a surprise.
Right.
But the other part is very overwhelmingly saying anyone but him.
Right. and then there's somebody like Eugene where like he's finally like I get why narratively that would work because they're like, well, he's finally started to show some backbone. We can't have that. But by the same token, it's like I think that we would need more time with him for it to really be impactful, because we had so long with him just being fairly cowardly and especially finding out what we find out about him. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't like him. And you spend a lot of time not liking him, and now we've just started to say, well, you know what, but maybe he's not awful.
Right, he's growing on you a little bit.
Yeah, but I
and his arc gets really interesting in the comic way later on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'd want to, it's just crazy because the character that we like the most, he has no room in the comic. So they could continue telling that story, and he doesn't fit into anything. And that's what, to me, makes it so dangerous, because he is someone they could get rid of, and it's not going to change any possible stories that they're going to pull from the comics.
Right.
And that's scary. That's like, fuck. Like, he could go at any moment. And I guess that's the point. This is TV.
Right. But, I mean, the other thing, too, we don't have Andrea anymore, who was way bigger in the comics.
That's true.
So I mean, they're telling their own narrative, so they could, there are a handful of things like Rick and Carl are not going anywhere.
Right.
That's a safe bet.
Well, I mean, it could be.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but they've been hinting at it with all the little Carl things they've been showing. Like him back in the first season, and then him losing his eye, and I get what they're doing. They're playing with the audience that hasn't read the comics,
right?
So they're like, who could it be? It's basically the summer of, Who Shot Mr. Burns?
Yeah, basically.
And I love that concept that they're doing, but it's oh man. When that happened last season,
if this Who Shot Mr. Burns joke comes back to bite you, I'm calling it right now. Because we all remember Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Yeah. But wait, why would that come back to bite me?
Because
what does Maggie have to do with it?
Well, there's an option.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that would be funny. Oh man, that would come out of left field. That would be, I think, more impactful.
That would be a huge swerve, especially given the last, especially given what we know now. Like that would hurt
disturbing.
A lot. Yeah, boy, would it ever.
Is that fucked up to say that it would be more disturbing for her than him? Like, I'd rather see a guy get his... Oh, it's fucked up to even think about. But
that's what the show will do to you.
Yeah, it's just more... And I see, that's the thing. I don't think Glenn would just sit there. That's the one reason why I don't think it would be her, because I know for a fact he would go, no, kill me instead. But maybe he's like, no, that you don't get to choose.
Yeah, he could have him restrained. Like there's enough guys around there to hold him down.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible to even think about, but that would actually make me really pissed off. I wouldn't be able to watch it. I'd have to mute it and not listen to it.
Because I mean, just the, I think back to when he had the moment in Alexandria, breaking the chair and everything. Just like all of a sudden you were like, oh, this dude's a badass.
Yeah.
Like, just that we saw that he can do kind of that primal fury, just sort of like, all right, and scream. But can you just imagine? I mean, that's going to be up there with what happened to Oberyn. Those sounds give me nightmares still.
Yeah.
Like that was the part, like the visual was just like, oh, that's gross. But the sound, man, that scream was just, oh my God.
Yeah, it's and I don't want to. Oh man, that Maggie, I've grown just. I couldn't listen to that or watch that, or I definitely if they put it next to her head and that's when I'm muting it, because I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. I'll know that it's her.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, and then once it gets him talking to Rick, I'll be like, all right. all right, back at it, but I don't want to see that. And then I keep thinking it's AMC, so they can't get too. They can't. I don't think they're gonna show it. They're just gonna hear. You're gonna hear it.
I don't know. They get pretty graphic.
They get graphic with zombies.
Well, and I mean, and here's the thing: like, we're not going to see it as it happens, but they'll show the aftermath for sure.
That's crazy to even think about because
right,
a TV show. I never thought of it like that. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
We see them get ripped apart. Oh, that's just crazy to think about. How do they get away with that? No other show gets away with that.
Well, not a lot of other shows are on AMC too.
That's true.
And Breaking Bad got away with some stuff too.
That's true. Yeah, there's just something just primal and just gut-wrenching about thinking about someone's head getting beaten in with a bat. That it's just there's more. What's the word? There's like that's an act of passionate violence, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm not using the right word, but
it's way more ruthless. It's so much more brutal.
Exactly. It's not like a shot is quick. It's as shitty as that sounds. Like the thought of beaten in with a bat. That's just that's just crazy to even think about. Yeah. So no matter who it is, don't want to see it, but especially if it's Maggie, then I'm just muting it. That's
the left field pull. Like somebody like Eugene is the safe choice. Abraham is the mildly controversial choice. They can go the comic route, which will still suck. They could go.
Well, here's the thing. Did you hear him on the creator? What's his name again?
Kirkman.
Kirkman, yes, Robert Kirkman. He was on that Hardwick show on Comedy Central, the
at
Jeopardy
midnight?
type show.
At midnight.
Maybe about a year prior, or maybe like half a year or something like that. Maybe 6 months or something. And he said, "Tell us a spoiler on the show," and he said the exact scene from the comic. He said Glenn and blah 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 is gonna get pulled. He said the exact scene, and then Hardwick's like, "Did you just really do that?" He's like, that sounds really specific. And he's like, "Oh no, sorry, I blacked out," or something like that. That makes me think it's not gonna be that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he just spoiled the thing on national television.
No, he's
for
not
everyone
that.
To hear.
He's not that careless.
Oh man, that's why I think it's not going to be Glenn. But man, what a swerve if it would be his girlfriend.
I think that's
or fiance.
I think that's the way they go. Like it wasn't. The thought was like, was it going to be Glenn or is it going to be Daryl? And I was like, they're not. I was with you. I'm like, it's not going to be Daryl.
Yeah,
but
he's too popular.
But I think that if they chose to go with a different, if they don't stick with the comics and they swerve, I think that's the way they'll do it, and that will just, oh man, watching to see Glenn, like that's got to be the most. That will probably be some of the most intense acting he will ever do.
And she's pregnant too, right?
Yeah.
It can't be her.
It could. This is not a pleasant world.
I can't. If this is her, I'm gonna be. Now I'm on the fence with her and and Daryl. I really am, because I don't know who I'd rather lose. Oh, she's pregnant. That changes everything. That is. I would be furious, but I guess that's the point. It's supposed to make us feel things.
Exactly. That's the idea. You get attached to these characters because that's what good characters do. They make you feel invested, and you weigh pros and cons like this. Imagine trying to write this.
I can't. It was funny. I remember when this was coming out, and I felt like I had to be the cheerleader for it. Like guys, you got to check this out. Like, this is some real. I remember some of my friends were like, "It's a zombie show. That's gonna be stupid." Blah blah blah. Could you imagine? I had no idea it was gonna be this big. I knew it was gonna be something special, but I didn't think it was gonna take off like it did. Where it's like on Lost level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. When it first came out, like I couldn't get through the pilot. I couldn't get through the premiere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to where it first cuts to she and Shane in the tent or whatever, and it was always like it always happened to be there where I was like, all right, this is kind of boring.
Oh, really?
And it was the same spot twice, and then like the third time I was like, all right, I'll keep watching it. And it was such a, because I wasn't used to AMC style shows.
Right.
I wasn't used to that kind of build and payoff that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the first episode was more like a movie than anything.
Yeah.
And it was like an hour or an hour and a half. I mean.
It was I think an hour 10. I think.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I remember being a little bit longer than normal, and it felt like its own thing. And then the show started after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't even meet anybody until the second episode, right?
Yeah. No, the dude and his kid. More.
No, I mean, right, but I mean, he doesn't meet. That's what I mean. Like that entire thing was its own self-contained story. It felt like.
Right. He doesn't get to the group until the second episode.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, it didn't. The show really didn't start with him and all the characters until the second episode, and then we don't. Of course, that comes and turns around and meets back way later in the show.
Right.
But yeah, man, that was such a good. Yeah, and the fact that it survived past season 2 is just baffling, and then it just fucking took off like a dog, got loose from the yard, just. But yeah, man, good show. Can't wait for this week, and we'll talk about that, of course, next week.
Yeah.
Let's get into some video game news. Big news for video games this week. Rockstar was trickling out news. I guess since it's going on air Wednesday, since Monday, they released a picture of looked like red paint, and it just had the Rockstar symbol, so everyone knew, oh shit, here it comes, Red Dead Redemption. And then Tuesday they released a picture of what looked like a red sunset, and then the silhouette of like 5 cowboys. And then on Tuesday they released an official announcement for Red Dead Redemption 2 coming fall 2017. Trailer will be released on Thursday at 11 a.m. Game to include multiplayer component reportedly named Red Dead Online, which I imagine is going to be much like Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's cool. I mean, I Grand Theft Auto offered enough gameplay to satisfy me for single player. I imagine it will be the same for Red Dead, where I won't care too much about the online. But
yeah, the online was great once they got it working a year after it came out.
Yeah, no, I mean, online stuff's not for me unless it's like Destiny or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That never really, for whatever reason, Grand Theft Auto Online just did not get my attention. I don't care anything like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I'm single player all the way. But like it
felt like, well, you get a house and you get to save up for a car and stuff like that. And I'm like, this just feels like real life. Like what you're doing in Grand Theft Auto feels like you're doing outrageous things to get things that you have in real life.
Yeah, but then you got to plan heists and everything. Like it was their way of doing a co-op mode, more or less.
That's right. You do plan heists. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I guess I'm just a weirdo. I like the fantasy setting stuff. I don't like the modern day stuff. Just doesn't do it for me.
That's fair.
I'm weird. Yeah. But this looks cool. I mean, I'll be honest, played some Red Dead Redemption 2, didn't finish it. I know everybody loves it, and I just wasn't, I guess, in the right place when last time I played it. God, it's been years now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been like... Yeah, I think I played that. Yeah, damn, it's been like what, 7 years?
At least
7 or 8 years. Damn, yeah. So, yeah, I think now I'm in. That definitely sounds like a game that I'd be interested in playing. So, cannot wait. What did you think of the last Red Dead Redemption?
I never really played it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can jump right in. It gives us a quick. Hey, here are these people, and now we're going off doing a crazy 8, whatever. Yeah, so there we go. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare beta opening on all PS4 owners on October 21st. So they had the pre-order one last weekend, which I thankfully got a code for and played a little bit of it, and didn't like it at all. but hey,
really?
that's yeah. I mean, I've never been a fan of Call of Duty multiplayer.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, same old, more or less.
It is, yeah, it is pretty much, to me, it felt exactly like last year's Call of Duty multiplayer, except this time, like, you're a dog. Like, you could turn into a robot dog and just run through people.
Okay.
Which seemed extremely cheap. Because you can't really shoot it. It's so fast and it's tiny and it's just running through people. It's one-hit kills. But, yeah, no, it was just, it felt like Call of Duty multiplayer. I guess I really dig the Destiny stuff, the customization. Maybe it's because it's set in a sci-fi setting and like all the different ways you can jump and do stuff.
Yeah.
It has its grips in me more than the Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. I don't know. I wish they gave a demo for the single player. I would have been more interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
But yep, for all you PS4 owners, it will be available this weekend.
Cool.
Yep. And we got some Friday the 13th news. Game delayed until spring 2017 in order to include single-player mode and new map pack.
Yeah, it was originally not going to have... Like, it was just going to be the online multiplayer. Which would have been fine, but
yeah.
They listened and they were like, look, we found a way to do this within our budget, but we've got to push it from October. It's supposed to be this month.
Yeah.
Until spring. And everybody went, we'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
So that's good. That's good news. That's a delay I can get behind where they're like, hey, we're adding in a new mode. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for that. Now, that's coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and PC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe it comes out in the VR headset. That'd be awesome.
They've talked about it.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I saw? They have PlayStation VR porn that you download onto. You're supposed to download it onto a flash drive.
Right, and then play it. Yeah.
Put it into your PS4 and play it through the media player.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that since the Samsung Gear.
So I might, just for the podcast, have to come back with a report on what that looked like.
I'm genuinely curious as to like how that, because you can do that through 2D platforms. Like they have formatting software for that, but God, does that look weird?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. It's going to be
so
interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, apparently it makes the person look like 12 feet tall.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like Land of the Amazonians or whatever. But we'll see. Wait, I'll do it for science in the podcast.
There you go. Now you're talking. Take one for the team.
I'll take one for the team, and I'll make a night of it. Light some candles, of course, but we'll I'll find out. Where were we here? United Front Games, Sleeping Dog Studio closes down suddenly, which sucks, man. Sleeping Dogs was so good.
Well, and they just had a game up on Steam Early Access yesterday.
Really?
Like, I mean, this was a studio that was working. They were making games. They had one in the pipeline, and all of a sudden it's closed.
Wow.
Like, I haven't seen any explanation. I haven't seen any reasonings. By the time this airs, there may be some murmurings of news. But, I mean, there was, like, it wasn't like, oh, they were stagnant or they were stumbling on this and so they had to be cut. No, they were actively working on something.
That's weird.
Just completely out of the blue, gone.
That's crazy.
So I don't know what happened.
I guess they're working on Sleeping Dogs too, it says.
They were doing that, and they were doing something PC. It was like something Thug or something.
Oh wow.
And it was, but I mean, like, it went up on Steam Early Access like yesterday.
That is weird.
And now, like, of course, now you can't, like, the game is not there anymore. But like, right. I mean, they were working. They were working on a title that they had up there, and now it's gone. Now that the studio is no more.
Wow.
Which is
I guess the Sleeping
bizarre.
Dogs sequel was called Triad Wars.
Yeah, which would have been cool.
Jeez, that sucks. Yeah, overnight to just take a studio down. That's insane.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, what else we got? Diablo rumors surrounding Diablo 4 or Diablo 2 HD circulate in advance of BlizzCon beginning November 4th. Here's my guess. We are going to see the announcement of StarCraft HD, Diablo 2 HD, and one of the Warcraft games HD or Warcraft 4, all announced at BlizzCon this year.
I think I would agree with like a triple HD pack. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be StarCraft, Warcraft 3, and Diablo 2 HD.
Yes, and this will be a way for them to get their audience that have been craving to play those kind of games, but you can't really play them on today's machines. And for them to be able to still to put it underneath their network
Right.
of how you play it, instead of them downloading it not illegally, but because you can't really get it anymore. So I don't know if it's illegal, but obtaining it any other way. Now you're going to be able to pay a fee, get all those games, and play them in a good resolution. Those old Warcraft games, did you ever play them?
No,
Oh man, they were so much fun. The glittering prizes. It was before RTSs went all hero, which
Right.
kind of started with, I guess, Warcraft 3 was a big one where it was like you play the hero. It was like no. You start out as a minion and you build a castle, and then you build a forge, and then you build this, and then you can add a bunch of soldiers, and then builders, and then soldiers, and then you build these things. And the old-fashioned RTS is the one I really like.
Right.
And that's what that was, yeah. But we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll finish up video game news, and we'll get into some reviews. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we got a little bit more video game news to talk about. Nintendo NX console rumored to be named Duo, priced between $300 and $350.
that seems fair.
Yeah, no, I'd pay. I mean, I don't think I should say how much I pay for the NX, but anywhere between $300 to $400, I think would be a good price. $400 would be way expensive, but at the same time, I would pay for it. But you're talking about parents buying it for the kids. $300 to $350 is a good price.
Yeah, 400 is the high end of acceptable.
Right. If it's like you get this plus a 64 gigabyte card for memory or whatever you need. Hopefully more. I mean, hopefully it's like a gigabyte storage. Anything like that these days, they need to be bigger size.
Yeah,
which you can tell.
Terabyte.
I mean,
Terabyte.
Yeah, what am I talking about? A gigabyte?
Oh,
Jesus
I was going to
Christ.
say, I was like, well, damn.
It's getting late here, so yeah, no, a terabyte. Terabyte would be perfect. I mean, 500 gigabytes would be cool too. It's a mobile device, so yeah.
Right.
The technology exists, but it would be expensive.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. So, man, I can't wait for the NX, honestly.
Yeah, I just can't wait until we know something about it.
Yeah.
Like anything. I will take anything at this point.
I'm curious if my 3DS stuff will... I'm curious how that's going to work, because if it's not like a 3DS with two screens, then obviously you're not going to be able to play 3DS games on it.
Right.
One theory people were kind of shooting around was that the Sun and Moon came out. The demo came out a day or so ago. Have you downloaded it?
I did. I played it.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Apparently, nothing in the game is 3D except for when you do like picture mode. And one of the theories is that they came out with was obviously that they decided it's so late in the 3DS cycle, fuck it, we'd rather pack it full of more stuff and not have a team dedicated to making certain things 3D. And the other theory was to get it ready for make it easier to port over to NX.
That's a sound theory.
It's a sound theory. The only thing is the bottom screen. Someday they'd have to, if there's like one screen on the NX or Duo, then they would have to figure that out. How to bunch it into the phones.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the bottom screen was only on during either battles or the pause menu. And those are things that you can move up to one screen. Like there wasn't, like with Alpha and Omega, you had like the map and everything on the second screen and everything. There wasn't that.
Oh, it wasn't in
No.
this? Oh, see, yeah. So it sounds like more and more that bottom screen is kind of pointless, or it'd be easy to.
I mean, I think so. I can fire it up real quick and be sure.
Yeah, because I mean, in X and Y and everything else, everything was down there for you.
Right,
to, like,
you had the map and little
link.
options, all that. Yeah.
But none of that's there now, is it? See, that makes that theory a little bit more sound. That they're probably preparing for this to be one of the ports that, hey, if you got an NX, you can. And if, man, could you imagine if, because I bought a lot of digital games on my NX. Nintendo is just notorious for making me have to buy it again. I doubt I'll be able to go, hey, I downloaded that. Can I download it here?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if they were like, you can play your 3DS games, but only the physical ones. I'd be like, you son of a bitch. Like, it should be, like, I have an account. I should be able to sign into that account on the NX.
Yeah.
And be able to download my games just like I would if I bought, the PSP to the Vita. I should be able to download the same games I purchased before. Which, man, one game that came out that I really want to try is Dragon Quest Builders. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Yeah, it has gotten so many good reviews. The few of the groups that I'm in, they've all said the Vita version is just a lot of fun. It's the perfect game to kind of play on the go. It's kind of like Minecraft, but with questing and like a story and bad guys and a direction to go in, and like it's constantly getting things for the town and building the town up, but at the same time there's missions and there's bad guys that come and they send you off on quests where you gotta get specific things, and I thought that's kind of the perfect game to chill. You're relaxing on your couch watching a movie or whatever, or you're on a train going somewhere. Like, it's the perfect kind of Vita game. I've been really contemplating getting it, but apparently the demo is out on the PS4, so I'm going to download that later and test it out. Apparently the only difference between the Vita and the PS4 version is just the graphics, obviously are not as good.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm contemplating getting that because I don't know. I probably won't. As soon as I get that VR, that's probably going to, I think, consume a lot of my time the next few weeks. But yeah, did you look to see if the menu or anything's down there?
Yeah, there's nothing here, man.
See, that's it.
There's nothing here.
I think that's just a sign that
like it stays blank until like you pull up the pause menu, which you could do on one screen, and then during battles, it gives you like all the little options and everything down there, but you could still move that up to one screen too. Like there's no reason to have a second screen for this.
Yep, that's what I think's going to happen. And that's cool. I hope that if that's now my issue. I'm afraid if I buy it digitally, I'm not going to be able to transfer it over. I might buy Pokemon just as the physical edition, because I imagine that it will play in the see. We need to find out. Hopefully, it's announced sometime soon.
Right.
It's got to be. I just hope it's announced before the Pokemon games come out, because that would be my deciding factor. If it's like, if we get any sort of idea that it plays 3DS games, then
right. Well, they've only got like a month. I mean, Sun and Moon aren't that far out.
Yeah, Sun and Moon's in a few weeks. It's exactly a week from today.
Wait, that's it? Really?
I'm sorry, not a week, a month.
I was gonna say, I was like, that's too soon.
Yeah, it's the 18th of next month. So, yeah, it's just a few weeks away. We're almost there. I'm gonna definitely download the demo tonight. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Let's see here. What other news we got here? We got some Star Wars news. Dr. Alphara, from the comic, right? Character getting ongoing solo series from writer Kieran Gillen, Darth Vader, and art by Kev Walker, Uncanny Inhumans, coming in December. Hell yeah, she's a great character.
Totally. I mean, I haven't caught up to the end of Darth Vader because I know it's over.
Yeah.
But I've read enough to see some of her arc, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, why not? Sure.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to get that whole Darth Vader as one big omnibus.
Yeah, that would be cool, because it's, 25 issues in an annual, right?
Yeah, it's the perfect for one big, here you go, Darth Vader.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. DC Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo teaming up again for DC Summer 2017 event.
Yeah, all they said about it was that it was very Batman heavy.
Cool. Hey,
that's all we know.
That's their bread and butter.
Yeah, I'll take anything those two do. Are you kidding? They've got the Midas touch when it comes to comics.
Have you been reading the Scott Snyder All-Star Batman?
I have not read any comics in a long time.
Oh, you should, man. It's pretty cool. It's basically, this isn't really that big of a spoiler, but Batman is taking Two-Face across the country.
Oh, that's right. It's a road trip.
It's a road trip, yes. Basically, Two-Face, before the second part of his face completely, took over his personality, he said, they left with this teaser, Bruce, it's ready. When I was in control, I was able to finish it up. If you take me there, we will be done with Two-Face. Basically, that's the idea they got. And then he's back to Two-Face. And so when he's telling Alfred, he's like, I need to take him here. And Alfred's like, no, you don't. You don't need to do that. That is a death. You are going to die. You'll never get him there. And he's like, who is in control? Whose idea was this? Was yours or his? And he kind of gets him. He's like, I know this isn't your idea. And he's like, it's totally mine. He's got a coin in his pocket or something. So anyway, the whole idea is Batman needs to get him there. And because when the Joker died, Two-Face kind of took over as the main person, as the main bad guy in Gotham. He basically releases this thing to all people that when he was the Attorney General or whatever he was,
District Attorney, he created this thing that got kind of everybody's information. So basically, he threatened everybody, saying, I know all of your secrets. And if I make it to this location, I am releasing all of them on everybody. Everybody's skeletons will come pouring out of their closet. Everybody. To the person working at the milk, whatever, to the person running for office. Everyone's skeletons will be released. If I make it to that place, there will be a dead switch. To the person who frees me from Batman and saves me, not only will your stuff never be released, but I will also give you blah 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 $1 million of the stuff that they know he has. And so basically a missile starts going at his jet. He's like, wait a second, how could a missile be? Who knows where I'm at? The only person who would know this would know me. And so you start to wonder, holy shit, who is so desperate to not have their secrets revealed that could be close to Batman. And so and it's basically and then he gets shot out of the sky. This all happens in the first one. And then so basically it's him on a road trip with Two-Face to this location, and everything in the kitchen sink is being thrown at him by everybody because no one wants their secrets being out. So that's the concept. That's the starting out point. So that's the jumping off point. So and that's nice. Really just mostly in the first issue. So hopefully that gets you excited. Yeah. So they've got a few issues out and it's really good. Scott Snyder knows his stuff. That's such a cool side story that doesn't really fit into the main series, but at the same time it's a great story. Marvel, we got company teases X-Men Inhumans line called Resurrection. Will include titles based on Weapon X and Iceman. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first Iceman solo series.
That's what I read. That's crazy.
Character's been around 50 years. This is his first solo series. It's nuts.
So it's going to be the older one? Or imagine it's going to be the younger one.
I probably the younger one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that's cool. Have you read the Death of X that's going on right now?
No, I've read nothing.
Oh yeah, that's right. They kill off a pretty big X-Men, a fan favorite. Kind of with no fanfare. It just you see it and you're like, oh shit, that person is really dead. Over and over and over again. So you'll see. But I guess it takes place a little bit before the comics that are happening now because it's all about
It explains it explains why the X-Men and the Inhumans are at war.
Exactly. A lot of people are thinking this resurrection and them coming back is a hint at Marvel and Fox getting together, especially with that new show coming out, Legion. Is that maybe there was something where like Marvel's starting to go, hey, you know what? Maybe we can keep the X-Men in the universe. Let's see. Power Rangers, DC and Boom Studios doing a Power Rangers Justice League crossover comic in January, written by Tom Taylor, art by Stephen Brine. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen, like how that would, suddenly one of their new 52 universes they pop into, and it's the Power Rangers.
I'm guessing the Black Ranger gets teleported to the wrong Earth because of a transporter malfunction, and Batman chases him.
Is that?
That's what I read anyway.
Oh. I'm like, that
would have been magic if I'm like, here's what I think's gonna happen. No, that was
very specific.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. That would be. I'm like, that's very specific. Let's see here. We got some WWE news. Mickie James returning to face Asuka. How do you pronounce her name?
Asuka.
Yeah, Asuka at NXT TakeOver Toronto, November 19th.
Yes, I missed Mickie James.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know much about her.
She would have been dirt while you were gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was there kind of towards the end of Trish and Lita's run.
Okay.
She was part of that, and then she went to TNA for a while.
Okay.
And now she's coming back because TNA's getting sued by everybody on the planet.
Oh wow.
It's crazy. Billy Corgan is suing TNA. Like 4 different production companies they work with are suing them, 3 or 4, and the state of Tennessee is suing TNA.
Wait, why?
Because they owe money.
The state of Tennessee is suing them?
Yeah, they put up a lien or something against them. It's nuts. They owe American Express $250,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No wonder they sold the rights to their archive to WWE.
Oh, well, now there's talk that they've actually sold part of their library to one of the other production companies.
Oh, come on, that's stupid. Sell it to the WWE so at least people can see it.
Well, I mean, that would be the idea, but, Dixie has shown she's not exactly the best head for this business.
It just seems like a disaster. What do you think the Hardys are going to go over to WWE?
I don't know. I think they stick with TNA for as long as they can because they have that creative freedom.
You don't think one day they show up on Raw and they'd be like, I knew you would come.
I would love for that to be what would happen. Like at the Royal Rumble, the lights go out and suddenly you just hear WWE Universe. You knew I'd come. Like that place would explode.
Yes, and it would just say delete all of them. Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be like AJ when he came back. And I didn't know AJ at that time, but I saw how people reacted. I was like, oh, this guy's important.
Yeah.
And then later on, did I realize, oh shit, yeah, he is basically the biggest superstar that never made it to the WWE, outside of Sting, I guess.
Yeah, he was TNA's golden boy. He was the Sting of TNA.
Exactly.
Before Sting went to TNA.
Right, exactly. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more, some extra stuff, and then we'll get into some reviews. Again, you're listening to the We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And so AJ Styles was before Sting? Because I thought Sting was the big attraction there at the beginning of TNA.
No. They teased Sting for a couple years, and then he showed up. But AJ was one of the big, he was the big breakout star. He was the first X Division champion. He and Christopher Daniels and Raven to an extent, they kind of built TNA, and you had guys like Low Key and Jerry Lynn, he
was their Hogan. He was their icon.
He became that. Yeah.
He became that. Okay. Gotcha.
And then
because most of the stuff I saw him in, he had short hair. I actually saw Xavier Woods on it, and he threw up in a match with AJ Styles.
Yeah, he was him and R-Truth. He and R-Truth.
Wait, R-Truth was on it before R-Truth went to WWE?
R-Truth was big in TNA.
So he did TNA before WWE.
He did WWE before he did TNA, before he did WWE again. R-Truth used to be called K-Quick. He and Road Dogg were a tag team back in the 90s. He was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was. Go back and watch. There was one Royal Rumble that they were in. I think it was the 90. No, 2000, 2001. 2001, I think, which had
that's when I
K-Quick in
didn't
it.
watch.
Yeah, that one had him in it. Yeah, he was
Gotcha.
K-Quick before he was Ron the Truth Killings in TNA, and he teamed up with Consequences Creed, and they were Truth and Consequences.
Oh man, yeah, Consequences Creed. That's
Xavier
Woods.
Yeah,
and so Xavier Woods went from there to NXT.
He skipped NXT, I think.
No,
I think so.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw like an ESPN thing behind NXT, and it showed Xavier Woods.
He might have been back there during it, but I don't know. I don't think he was part of at least this incarnation of NXT. Let me put it that way.
It was a documentary, or maybe it was something on the WWE Network. Was
no, because they did a thing like that, and it had Adam Rose and a couple other guys on it too, right?
Right, and it showed him going. He's finally getting his call up to the main roster, and it showed his first debut as Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
But oh man, that's got to be cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I guess I knew R-Truth was old, but I didn't know he went back that far.
He goes back a lot farther than people think.
Yeah.
Because nobody talks about K-Quick. Nobody ever mentions it.
That's funny. What else we got here? We got some TNA company report. Oh yeah, the O's 3.4. We went over that $1 million currently being sued by everybody. M&M's caramel M&M's are coming. So they've never been caramel M&M's?
Nope.
Oh, it seems like that'd be something that would be the next logical step before all the other stuff that they put in it.
Right? I mean, they went pretzels, they went crispy. You would think they'd have to do caramel at some point.
Right, exactly.
So they're doing that.
I do like the crispy ones. This tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
We only got a few more minutes, man. Let's spoiler-free Flash.
It was good. Villain was kind of throwaway, but we had some good moments. And it set up some interesting, like, little future dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be good.
Okay. We talked about 2K.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little about WWE before I go into the back mirror?
Yeah, let's. Because this week we had the big moment this week, man. And I mean the crowd was into it, and they chanted along, and I mean, and it was insane looking at this crowd when James Ellsworth came out to the ring on SmackDown.
I was working at the time.
Oh, that was madness. That was crazy. Like, they were so behind him, it was nuts.
Yeah, didn't he win?
Yeah, by DQ. Yeah, so.
Oh, he didn't get the belt.
No, he got no.
I loved how they said the man who's beat AJ Styles more than John Cena.
Yes, I loved that line. I loved it so much because there was an article in Forbes of all places that there was now serious consideration about turning John Cena because he's not quite the draw that he used to be.
Right.
And I think this is the angle to do it with, his whole chasing history bit. And let it start eating at him, let it consume him, let him just really start to get a little twisted by this.
It makes sense, but at the same time, you don't have a big enough face for the company to do that. They need to have a bigger face because the one thing that stops me in my tracks about John Cena, about making him go heel, is he has a point about the Make-A-Wish Foundations and the stuff he does for kids. Him going heel would change a lot of that. And I know that sounds so...
But CM Punk did so many Make-A-Wishes too, though, as a heel.
But it's not the same, though. He is their Superman right now.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but, you know...
And this is something, it's kind of ironic because this is something Goldberg talked about, that the moment he turned heel and he had to go to meet a girl who had terminal cancer, and the look on her face when she was like, I don't know who you are, and this was her moment to meet her hero.
Yeah.
It ate him alive. And I get why we would love to see him turn heel, but
I totally understand why they're hesitant to do it. Oh, absolutely.
I think that it's more important that the kids, that it's more important for them to be excited to meet their hero than for me to see that story play out. I'm with you. I would love to see that play out, but if it doesn't happen, that's where it stops me in my tracks, where I'm like, I could see why they don't. My thing is, they need a face big enough to take his place, and that's why the whole, his whole thing he's been on about is like, I need someone to step up, and AJ Styles has stepped up, but he's not a face either. Maybe if they swap him.
Yeah, but they won't. AJ's having too much fun being AJ.
And see, that's the problem. They don't have big baby faces anymore. I mean, to me, the most likable people in the company are like Enzo and Cass.
Right.
And they're not doing much with them. They're just screwing around on Raw. They're not even in the contender race for tag team champions, which is just a shame. It should be them up against New Day. They really should be the ones taking the titles from New Day.
Yeah, not Cesaro and Sheamus.
No, but I guess you need a villain to get it so that the face can take it back, like at WrestleMania.
Right,
or
New
something.
Day. The criticism around New Day is they've started to get stale, and that losing the titles will be that kick in the ass that they need to get back in gear.
True, absolutely, I agree. And you know what? I wouldn't even mind if Xavier Woods kind of started doing his own thing and went after a title run, even like the cruiserweight. Like, I'd love to see him mixed up in there, or love to see him for the U.S. title or something. Like, I think he's overshadowed a lot from the other two, because Big E's just huge, and Kofi's the veteran. You see him being goofy, but dude, the second he went all gaming, and I found out.
Yeah,
he's been probably my favorite guy there that I want to see him push.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then on Raw we had Goldberg, and I thought, okay, cool, the crowd will pop, and then here's exactly what's going to happen at Survivor Series.
Right.
He and Brock are going to be a stalemate for a while. Brock's going to suplex him a bunch of times. Goldberg's going to spear him. He's going to jackhammer him. Brock's going to kick out. Or after that first spear, he's probably actually just going to get up. So Goldberg's going to spear him again. He's going to go for a jackhammer. It's going to get countered into an F5. Goldberg kicks out. He spears Brock again, jackhammers him. Brock kicks out. He hits him with a second and then a third F5, maybe a few more German suplexes, and pins him and wins. That's the match. I've booked it for you. I've saved you 7 minutes of your life. You don't need to watch Survivor Series.
But if they do something completely different, that'd be awesome too.
But they won't, because Brock won't let them.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think that's exactly. I think they basically paid him a lot of money to say, "Hey, we want you to come back and lose, so this makes you." Now we can put aside that the one thing Brock didn't do was beat Goldberg,
right?
And now he can do that, and so you can be the stepping stone to WrestleMania,
right? Because that's what Brock needs, is more stepping stones.
No, I completely agree. I say that sarcastically. That it does suck, but throw all that away. As someone who loved WCW, that was a really fucking cool moment to see him walk through the crowd. Walk through the wrestlers in the back.
That was neat. Did you see
how cheesy it was? Yeah, Big E. Yeah,
he was losing his mind.
That was such a nostalgia moment, and I know that's such a cheap get, but fuck, it got me. And then he gets in the ring, and his intensity. He was never good on the mic, but he's still fucking.
I thought it was great. That promo was good.
Yeah, I thought he was great, and I loved how he just stole a child from the crowd, and then he realized, oh, my child is here, so he runs back and he grabs his child, and then he kisses all the other children. And it's like, you can tell he was happier than a pig in shit to just do that again. Like, this was, he's like, oh fuck it, like, you can tell it's all coming back to him.
Yeah.
Like the song, it's all coming back to him. And next week we're going to see Brock Lesnar, so who knows? They're going to lead it up to Survivor Series. I agree with you. I think everything you said is true. That's what's probably going to happen. Who knows, man? Maybe they surprise us. Maybe Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, RKO's him, and then lets Goldberg win for one last time. That would be how I would book it. Is that Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, takes him out, lets Goldberg get his one last win, and then that sets up the rematch between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, and actually make Randy Orton threatening again.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know, but that would be a better outcome than what you said.
It would. Oh no, it absolutely would.
That would make people talk. That maybe people go, wait a second, maybe he's not as good as they're trying to make him. We only got a few more seconds. Go watch Black Mirror. Go watch the 3rd episode of the 1st season. It's called The Entire History of You. It was so well received. Robert Downey Jr. I think has something to do. He bought the rights or something with that story specifically to make into a film.
Okay, cool.
Because that story is so good. I can't stress enough. This show is amazing. It's like watching a film, and then you relax, and then you watch another one. It's a completely different story. They have a Christmas special, which is about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and it has John Hamm, and it's all over the place, and it's about what if you could block someone in real life.
Oh, nice.
And the consequences that would come from that.
Yeah.
Part of the story is, and this isn't really spoiling it, guy and his girlfriend get pregnant. They get into a fight. She tells him right before she blocks him, I don't want the baby. Blocks him. Later on in life, he sees her, and he sees her with her kid. But the offspring of anyone that's blocked you is blocked out too. So he can't see the kid, but he knows it's his kid. And the consequences that come with that. And it's fucked up and it's twisted, and that's only a little portion of that story. That's just a part of a bigger story in that one Christmas special. So if you like The Twilight Zone, Black Mirror is the show to watch. Go watch it, Logan. You'll love it. I watched it all in one day. It was great.
Nice.
We don't have much time. Make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Make sure you listen to us, of course, every Wednesday on the N.FM. Twitter is at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. What else am I forgetting?
I don't know. I think that's kind of it. Rate us on iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes. I need to pick up one of our shirts. Is that still for sale on the site?
No, that closed a couple weeks ago.
I needed to pick up another one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll maybe do that sometime later. But anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll be talking about VR and what else was happening this week.
Stuff. We have things.
Stuff, things. There we go. We'll talk about stuff and things next week. Again, you listen to We Geek Podcast on N.FM. Captain.